I am joined now by the mayor of Tucson, Regina Romero. Mayor Romero, it's great to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me begin by getting your reaction, if I can, to that reporting from Vaughn that Arizona now has its worst day yet in the number of new coronavirus cases. Hospitalizations, ICU bed uses are at the highest they've been during the crisis. That has to be alarming.
Very, very concerning. And unfortunately, these numbers started rising as soon as Governor Ducey reopened our state. And we are hearing from healthcare professionals that we can pinpoint to that particular action by the governor regarding this alarming rate of COVID-19 increases in our state. Here in Pima County, where Tucson is located, we saw a rate growth in one day of 350 cases. In early May, we were in the teens in terms of new cases. We had come to a plateau because of the stay-at-home orders and my emergency proclamation in the city of Tucson. But now we see just yesterday 350 new cases in Tucson and almost 3,000 new cases in Arizona. That's very concerning.
Madam Mayor, I wanted to, first of all, ask you about speaking to the governor. Do you speak to him regularly about this? Because I know that you're asking Governor Ducey to give Tucson and other cities the authority to require the wearing of face masks in public. Have you been given that authority, or at least what is the response you get from the governor if you do speak to him?
The governor's executive order very pointedly really preempted cities, towns, and counties from making our own declarations, anything that he doesn't include in his order. We have been having really good conversations when the pandemic first started to explode around the country and in Arizona. And little by little, he started counseling the calls with mayors. And now there's no communication. We have tried to call the governor. My office has tried to call the governor, and he requested that we fill a request form to meet with the governor. It is very concerning because what we see is that Governor Ducey is not, the first thing he needs to do is acknowledge that there is a problem, that he needs to send that sense of urgency to Arizonans. And
do you think he's politicizing the health concern? Is he trying to maybe appease the president by showing that he's opening up his state when in reality the data and science does not support that from what you see?
We had been working, mayors across Arizona had been working hand in hand with the governor because we see the value of working in unity. Back in May, when President Trump came to Arizona to visit, that is when we saw the sudden change in Governor Ducey and him trying to reopen the state as quickly as possible, really tied to the time that President Trump came to visit Arizona.
Interesting.
Today, President Trump comes back to Arizona and Governor Ducey refuses to make masks mandatory in the state of Arizona. Governor Ducey received a letter. He's received letters from mayors. He's received letters from Board of Supervisors. He received a letter this weekend, a couple of letters from medical professionals asking him to just take the step to make masks mandatory. That could help save lives. If he's unwilling to do that, then he needs to untie the hands of mayors throughout Arizona so that we can take the necessary steps to protect our communities.